Hi, my name's Tom Miller. My father and I have developed Henga over the last 5 years. We both have a background in custom picture framing and wholesale picture framing supply in Tasmania, Australia. We have developed Henga to simplify the two-point level hanging of artwork. Custom picture frames traditionally have been hung on a wire from a single point. This is a slightly flawed system because the frame is constantly sliding out a square and needing adjusting on the wall. Two-point hanging has been offered by framers, but it's often really difficult because you need lots of tedious measurement to actually get the locations right. With our system, we have marking studs that mark the wall so that you know exactly where those wall fixings need to go, and also bump-ons that are measured for the bottom corners that sit at parallel to the wall as well as at hanging level. The system has been designed with point-of-sale bags that have the contents included for hanging at home. They are a bio bag that will break down in landfill in 6 months, a recyclable cardboard bag topper, and 2 plastic marking studs in each bag. These are HDPE, which is curbside recyclable. Henga offer a starter box. This contains everything you require to get started with Henga. You have a point of sale board, 5 of each of the point of sale bags, a screw box that contains our range of frame studs and frame screws, and a framing tool. Henga have designed a full range of frame studs, but we've also designed a full range of frame screws. These are a specifically designed screw for the picture framing industry. Currently, framers use self-tapping screws, which are sheet metal screws, whereas our screws are designed to thread into timber. Our screws have a custom designed head with arrowed edges. They are nickel plated and a higher end look compared to a standard self-tapping screw. Henga have also designed a framing tool. This tool is designed for screw heights on the side of your frame and also wire heights so you can get the wires at the same height. The idea on the front, you've got a 1, 3, 5, 7 and so on. This is the centimetres down from the top edge of the frame. On the side here you've got notches. You could have screw heights at 9 centimetres and you can mark off either side. If you're using traditional wire hanging, you can then tie the wire around the frame stud and then go up over whichever height you desire. The frame studs can be screwed into any of these holes. So you tie off, go up over the hole, back down and tie off on the other side. It also has a rounded bottom edge. This is for burnishing the tape onto the back edge of the frame. Henga is a two-point level hanging system. At its core is a newly designed screw called a frame stud. The frame stud has a shaft below the head that pulls up on the back of the timber, creating space for traditional wire hanging, doing away with the need for screws and D-rings. With the wire removed, you can use it with our system. With the frame stud, you have a choice of 4 different bags. You have a screw-on bracket plaster, screw-on bracket masonry, a screw-on bracket timber, or a nail-on bracket. When a customer goes home with their Henga bag of wall fittings, they simply scan the QR code on the back of the bag, which takes them to the instructions on our website. With the instructions, it's a paint by number situation. You find the bag that relates to you, click on the button and it talks you through how to hang using that bag. Screw-on bracket plaster. You have 2 marking studs. You clip those over the head of the frame studs. With the spikes on here, you go up to the wall and you push and make a mark, level the frame up and push and make another mark. You then remove the marking studs. With the plaster screws, that pushes straight into the hole that you've made with the marking stud. With the screwdriver, you screw it most of the way home. The bracket has a slot in the bottom that slides over the top. You twitch that up, same on the other side. And then you have bump-ons that go onto the 2 bottom corners of the frame, which help the frame not only hang level on the wall forever, but also parallel to the wall, which creates good airflow in behind the frame. The plaster bag does have 1 timber masonry screw. If you're unlucky enough to hit a stud, you can back out the plaster screw and replace it with this. If you hit 2 studs, move it left or right slightly. The screw-on bracket masonry is a similar idea to the screw-on bracket plaster. However, you can't make a hole in a brick or a timber wall with a plastic spike. For this, we have a marking pad. The marking pad has a hole in the center that locates over the spike of the marking stud. You peel it off and it's got double-sided tape on the other side. You go up to the wall and you push and it sticks to the wall. You level up and push again and it sticks to the wall. When you remove it, the marking pads stay stuck to the wall, creating a pilot hole for you to drill through. Once drilled through, you remove the waste. You have the wall plugs into the hole, screw your timber masonry screw most of the way home, and then you have a slot in the bottom of the bracket, slides over the top, and then you twitch it up. Compared to the plaster bracket, you do have 5mm of adjustment on the back here for leveling the frame up. If you're drilling into a masonry wall, often you can end up jumping around a little bit if you hit a bit of aggregate. So it just gives you that little bit of adjustment for squaring the frame. The Henga nail-on bracket works similarly to a standard angle drive that you may have hung a picture with before. The back of the bracket has 3 holes, 2 nail holes and a central sight hole just here. The central sight hole is the same as the spike on the marking stud. So you clip your marking studs onto the frame and you mark the wall. Once you've made that mark, you then hold your nail-on bracket up to the hole, sight that mark on the wall through the hole. You then, a traditional angle drive, when you put the nail in on the top, they can drop. With ours, you put one through at the bottom to hold it in place. You plumb up the bracket over the mark and then put your angled nail through. This creates a pinching action in the plaster that holds the bracket more firmly, but it also stops it moving out of the way when you're hanging the bracket onto the frame stud. A problem that framers come across, especially these days, is that artists are requesting thinner and thinner frames for their art, and they want them bigger and bigger and bigger. Henga, we've designed a metal corner bracket with hole in a 70mm bracket and a 100mm bracket that reinforce the corner, as well as offering a 2-point level hanging option. With the Henga corner brackets with hole, there are 2 hanging options. There's the metal corner bracket pack plaster screw and the metal corner bracket pack wall button. This does a 12 kilo frame, while this one does a 2 kilo frame. With the metal corner bracket pack plaster screw, you have the marking studs once again. These have a 2-stage internal hole that fits either the 6-gauge or 8-gauge frame stud, but it also has a 12mm outer ring. With that 12mm outer ring, they clip into the holes on the bracket. You then go up to the wall like before with your spirit level on top, press and make a hole, level it up, press, make the other hole. With those 2 holes that you've made on the wall, you then push the spike of the plaster screw, screw it all the way home onto that bearing surface. Do the same on the other side. You then have your bump-ons that go onto the bottom 2 corners of the frame, which is 4mm in this case, and then you hang off the screw heads. For the Henga corner brackets with hole, there's also the metal corner bracket pack wall button. This is the lighter weight option that comes with the same marking studs that you clip onto your frame. Mark the wall the same way. The back of the wall button has a spike the same as the marking stud. That's designed to locate into the hole that you've made in the wall. You've then got a 32mm nail that goes straight through, acting like a standard wall angle drive. You then do the same on the other side and then hang off the wall button like that. The problem that the corner brackets with hole doesn't solve is if the frame is completely full to the back and you don't have a cavity in here to hang from the hole. For that, we've also developed our metal corner brackets with the pressed-in stud. These guys reinforce the corner, same as your corner bracket with hole, but then they offset that hang inside the line of the frame. This means that you go back to offering one of the first 4 bags, the screw-on bracket, plaster, timber, masonry, or the nail-on bracket. This also means that you offset that bracket inside the line of the frame so you don't see it hanging over the outside edge. Henga have also designed DIY corner bracket packs for use at home. These are designed for using on ready-made frames from certain shops that are often made out of MDF that are wrapped in a coating. Screws will often split these frames. So with ours, these bags have all of the nails, 12mm nails required to fit these brackets off. They come with the marking studs that clip into the hole, and then hang off wall buttons. The remaining 2 bags on the point of sale board is a spirit level bag that you can promote to your customer if they don't have one at home. Because they are small, they're quite good for hanging on the top of a frame or on a frame because they don't get affected by the outer edges of a frame, especially with a stretched canvas. There's also a bag of 5 plaster screws. So these are designed purely if someone doesn't want to use the 2-point system and they're hanging with wire, that you could offer them these plaster screws that are a lot stronger than a standard angle drive.